Hey guys, it's Jimmy Bremner and Dexter the boy. CTOA, and we're on the Urban Trail. It's Thursday, 08 of 02. We're just out for a bit of a walk today. I did see some deer sign, and there's a couple mounted ducks down the way here. So I promised you to show you some gear that I picked up at SHOT Show. It's a line, so we'll go through it. You know, it's not spectacular, but some interesting stuff. I guess the first thing that we'll go over is I've got a kukri, and it's actually from Nepal. It's full tang, probably 3/8 at least on the back of the spine. It's about a 5.5, 6 inch play, but it's enough. So here's the thing. Like I said, I always see people, taking knives and, like a fixed blade, like maybe a Mora, something like that. And they start trying to chop with it. Well, you can't do it because there's no weight, there's no inertia on the front end of it. So if you intend on, chopping, a kukri is the way to go because it's front heavy. And that's what does most, that inertia is actually what does most of the chopping for you. So a little branch here, but you can see how easily it goes through material. And so I hope to have these on the GSL, the Global Synergies website soon. I mean, it's the real thing, right? It is from Nepal. It has it looks like it's rawhide, and it could be, quite seriously, it could be like a goat stomach or something like that that's been sewn in to a scabbard. A little tiny piece of leather on the back for the belt. And what's interesting is that these smaller ones, you don't get them with all kukris, but they're actually eating utensils, and that's what they're for. So if you have a kukri and you're not aware of that, that's what that's for. It has a pretty decent pommel on it that you could use in a couple of different ways. You could use it for prying. You could use it as a big flathead screwdriver. And I'm just going to clear up a bit of a mystery here. This one doesn't have, what you're usually used to seeing here. There's usually a cutout there. And some people will say, and I could be wrong, help me out here, that it's a sort of a ceremonial or religious type of emblem. Some people say it's, like a, and you see like on a K-bar, people call that a blood trough, but it actually is just a way to cut down weight. And on the kukri, that cutout is actually a great engineering, because the back of the kukri is actually soft and the blade is hardened. So when you strike down on it, the people, again, he's been around for hundreds of years. It's engineering genius. It allows that blade to flex and stops it from cracking and breaking. So that's my understanding of it. If you have a better understanding, if you help me out, educate me, please put it in the comments. Now, the next thing that I picked up is, you've all seen these sort of, multi-tool wristbands. And this one is, it is offshore, but I have to tell you, it's full stainless steel. It's all labeled on the back in terms of, 10 millimeter Torx bit, 20, your flathead, your Phillips. There is a window breaker on it, and there's a small blade you could use for cutting paracord and other utilities like that. So it's kind of a decorative piece, and it is actually it's good quality. You'd be surprised at the quality that's coming out of places like China, Pakistan, and India. The quality is actually quite exceptional. It's come a long way, and we try and buy Canadian, try and buy American, but quite honestly, a lot of things are still offshore, and they get labeled, assembled in Canada, assembled in USA. But that said, you're still helping people out because somebody has to ship it, somebody has to deliver it, somebody has to package it, and those are all Canadians, those are all Americans. So, again, I'm not going to go on either side of that. That's just my thought. But it's a pretty cool bracelet, and you can actually attach it to a watch. There's some instructions on how to do that, but pretty cool. Okay, now the next thing, a couple of small folders. Now, here's what's interesting. The GTA, right? You would think like a store from Canada that sells tires, sporting goods, you could find something as simple as a buck knife 110 model. It's next to impossible, right? And in the GTA, when you go to such stores like that, even like Walmart or whatever, you're finding less and less outdoor and sporting equipment, and it's no good, it's just, I don't get it, but it's just a comment. So go to the SHOT Show, and guess what? Buck 110, they do have a model now that is a assisted opener, right? It has a button, right? And you can open it, but guess what? All knives are one-hand openers if you know how to go about it. So I don't really concern myself about one-hand openers and deployment and things like that. But anyway, these aren't really tactical knives, but they're a beautiful, beautiful razor sharp sort of heirloom piece that you can hand down to your kids. I said before, like, again, when people do knife reviews, they start beating them and hammering them, and you'd never ever do that if you're depending on this for your survival. If you had to cut a small limb down, you're going to beaver chew it around, just like beavers do, and that's how you'd cut through it. You don't have to baton it, and I got to tell you, this is like, I'm going to show you a Swiss Army Ranger next, but these two particular knives are like you don't even need a fixed blade. And here's the Army Ranger I picked up, Swiss Army. The difference being is that this is a very basic old school pocket knife. Swiss Army Ranger, of course, has all the tools on it. It has your toothpick, your tweezers. It's got, instead of a corkscrew, it has a Phillips. It has the awl with the eyelet so you can sew can opener, bottle opener, and serrated blade. It is a one-hand opener with a lock, and it does have quite a robust saw. So either way you go, they're both very good tools. And so that's kind of the things I picked up in that SHOT Show. And like I said, with the Buck 110, you get to the States and it's like, well, do you want a skid of them? Like, how many do you want? And here, it's almost impossible to find quality things anymore in the GTA. And I guess that's the way it is. So, last thing I review here, I'm looking at bolo gear for bushcraft, and I'm looking at either the water bottle, 32-ounce water bottle and cup, nesting cup, so you can boil and that type of thing, or I'm looking at the canteen with the stove, stainless steel, wide rim on it. So these are the two things I'm looking at labeling under bolo gear for bushcraft and things like that. So we hope to have that come online in the summer of 2024. Again, in the comments, tell me what you'd prefer, whether you like the water bottle and cup or you like the canteen. Personally, I prefer the canteen, but that's just me. We did do a lot today. Again, I'm trying to get the CTOA swag out to you, putting the orders together, and they should be ready to ship by next week. If you happen to get a gray t-shirt instead of a black t-shirt, just bear with me. You will get the black one once we get another lot, made up for you. So be patient, doing everything we can. So as I said, that's what we did. Bit of a long post. Oh, one last thing. We got this. Got a wedge. Okay, this is an aluminum wedge. This is by Modus. Is a Canadian company, but you know what? This is aluminum. It's quite lightweight. And if you you're batoning knives. If you take a wedge with you, you can hammer this, as much as you want, and it's not going to ruin your knife. Again, which is that edge on that knife is what you're depending on in terms of your survival. So you want to think about, again, doing things smarter, not harder. And nice wedge goes a long way. And I think I've emptied all my pockets now, and those are the things that we picked up at SHOT Show 2024. So, in terms of my health, feeling a bit better today. We're coming along, so please subscribe and follow us, and I'll follow you. And that's Jimmy Bremner and Dexter. Here, the boy. And we're out.